All right, Shalom, Israel. Quick video giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kadash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, much salutations to the brothers, teaching word for the hopeful elect. Soon to be the elect, most high will. Shorten the time for the elect's sake. The elect work is being done into the hopeful extended elect. Shalom. It's a quick video. It's going to be a cold case video. And I'm going to go back to the video itself. This is a young girl. She's probably like 14 or 15. Yeah, 14-year-old Alianna DeFreeze. Happened in Cleveland, Ohio. And, you know, this man interrogated, suspected to have killed her, was found out to have killed her. And, you know, during his interrogation, he was asking him, you know, what happened. And he basically said, I don't know, I can't really remember. He said he was scared, he wasn't thinking straight. You know, and let's see. Said some more stuff, you know, because, you know, he's pretty much a normal guy, and I think they locked him up a little bit for another crime as a sex offender, and they let him out, and then he did this, as far as I remember reading. And, you know, I don't know what the outcome of this sentence was, but you know, this man, he became a reprobate, you know, and reprobate is without judgment, you know. I mean, he's at least 6'1", maybe 6'2". They said he's a massive man. That's how they described him. You can see here when he's in the courtroom. Let's see how big he is, shown with handcuffs and all that. They said they couldn't even really fit the handcuffs around him. You know, and this was a young girl that took the bus and had two transfers. One transferred to another bus, one to the other, like two buses every day to school and back. You know, she didn't come home, so her parents put out a missing report, missing child report. And I don't know his history as far as his relationship, that he did rape one woman already, a woman kind of his age bracket, and stabbed her in the neck, and she lived, and she told her part of that incident. But that's him right now, and she's just, you know, she's a young girl. You know, America's call her a young girl, but she's a young woman. You know, I mean, look how big this dude is, man. But Most High said, you know, there'll be reprobates, Most High said, and there's be spirits for vengeance. You know, now, in a situation of reincarnation making sense, this young little girl, a young woman, what have you, she could have been killing the prophets in the old world, in her life before this, and lived all the way to the. I'm just giving you a scenario of, how reincarnation could work. And she probably lived to be a old woman to where she had a natural death. But in the meanwhile, she was grew up part of a system, into the system, killed prophets. I'm just using her as an example, not. So, and that's how reincarnation makes sense. I mean, if if it didn't, and if it wasn't true, then you would have to explain all these, you know, crazy events that happen that police or anybody else couldn't make sense out of. So, you know, going back to him, there's another. He's smiling, and he's probably relieved that it's over him damn self. You know, because it is a man that massive size, and he talking about he was scared. He said he drug her to the closet and walked around the house, and he was scared. So you got men like this, like I said, even with adultery, you got a men like this that sleep with another man's wife, and then when he comes home from work, she say hide in the closet, and he hides in the closet. So there's a conviction of spirit as well as spirits created for vengeance, um, and so you got to be careful because if you're not with the Holy Spirit, a spirit could come upon you to do something that you don't even agree to do or not aware to do. Like you have certain women that have said they threw their children over the bridge, two or three children over the bridge. As one woman said that it was a true story. Another woman said she hung all her children. She lived in a mobile home and hung all of her children, and the same answer came out. Usually, with those type of people, men, whether it be men or women, that some spirit, some told them to do it, or some voice told them to do it. You know, uh, it says, Sirach in Apocrypha 39:28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So this was judgment, you know. I looked up also. And when we say judgment, we say that because, it's different when a prophet is beheaded or a prophet is hung or a prophet, then you you died in the name of the Lord. You know, uh, that's different. Uh, it says First Kings 22:21, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also, go forth and do so. So the Most High commands spirits. It even says about evil angels. They always paint angels like they're good, and like the devil is this bad guy. You know, evil angels work for the Most High too. Says Psalms 78:49, he cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them, man. So also it says um, the spirit is like the wind, you know, and it also says you shall hear a word behind thee. So spirits can whisper to people, tell them, no, go that way, or you see that woman right there, you can have that. Go get her. You know. And this is just an example. You know. Isaiah 30:21. And thine ears shall hear. And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. When you turn to the right and when you turn to the left. Now, it's talking about the prophets, the teachers, you shall see them. They shall no more be moved in a corner. So, but also the voices out there, spirits out there. It even says, show me an image of a voice. So, you know, even in your dreams or just coming out of your dreams, you might hear a voice saying, wake up, you know, or in your dream, you might hear somebody say, wake up, and you really wake up in real life. Or you might, in your thoughts, hear, like I said, a voice saying, do this and do that. And it can be a voice to make you do evil. Yeah. And you carry that out. But on the flip coin with the righteous, it says, Yahweh, it says, my sons hear my voice, my people hear my voice. The spirit, the ones that have the spirit of the Most High, because the ones that have the Holy Spirit cannot be deceived. That's why I even say to deceive the very elect if it was possible. We are not ignorant of Satan's devices. We're awake, circumspect. Now, you know, the parents, they're not in the truth, I'm pretty sure. I mean, uh, if they would have raised their daughter to be more circumspect and to be, uh, and to different, you know, act out certain things in different situations, or if a situation occurred like this is how you handle it. Because it said knowledge of wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. Um, or she could have seen that man, because when they talk about her being on the bus, they said a man was watching her. I think it turned out to be that same man. But if she was circumspect, she could have saw that herself. And I'm not, knocking her for just, but that's one of the ways is stability, knowledge, wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. Uh, Now here's her on the bus. Uh, and she was talking to a friend on the bus. Now they blurred him out. That was her friend. And I'm not sure if that was him yet because I don't know how long after this that they caught the criminal. He could have, but this is, I think, one of her friends or something that she was talking to. But there's a couple of people on here, few people I think that went into questioning, but one of them is him. I don't know which one, but this looks familiar. This dude, he kind of looks like it could have been him. But you know, she's like, it's like one of those things you get back home and you say, somebody, one of the, how was school today? Well, it was this strange man on the bus. He was looking at me funny, and then you know, the parents like, well, make sure you whatever if he, you don't get off by yourself, or you make sure something could have been done another way. And look, she was growing up fast. She already had fingernail polish and all that. And a lot of these parents let their kids grow up and be kind of free, to just to do things as they wish. Just and then they do set some boundaries, but they say, well, yeah, just do long as you be home by, and that's nothing new. It used to be like that back then. As long as y'all be home before dark, we used to just walk all kind of places, take the bus and everything. But you know, for me, I was always with my brothers. For some, I mean, they rode along, and you know, unfortunate situations happen. But you know, uh, I don't know. This bus looks pretty packed with grown men and grown women. You know, um, yeah, I wouldn't have been cool with this. My daughter, you know, and this is a situation where both parents are there and the man is there. You know, and if let's say if she did say that, she said, well, it'd be people on the bus. Well, how is it? Yeah, it's a few. It's like mixed crowd with men and women, and she say anything suspicious about any man or a woman on there, and you be like, well, I'm gonna ride the bus with you. Take off work and ride the bus with you, and make sure I'll see what's going on. That's one way to initiate something. Um, if there's, if she suspect anything of anybody, Also, it seemed like this is at night. You know, I don't know. Uh, Sometimes kids, they get off school 4:30, maybe 3:30 or 4:30. By the time they take two buses, it's like 6 o'clock, and could have been around a time where it gets dark at 6, whatever. So that's another thing. Walking at night, and she was walking along, by herself. Here's the man that looked like that was the one on the bus, and he followed. They said this is he that seemed like he had followed her. But it ended up being this dude, man. And they got another scene uh, where is it? That somebody tried to talk to her, a man tried to talk to her, and she put a space between he and she, and you know, she, man, where is it, man? Right here. That's him to the right, and that's her, and she's kind of backing off, putting space in between. So, and I told you about another story, and there he is. I think this is the same man, but I told you another story about this bus driver, regular bus driver, been working for the driving the bus for 10 years, like a city bus, and dropping people off, picking people up. Of course, what they do, pick people up, drop people off, and there's one young female, not I don't think young as her. Maybe she was maybe 16, 17, 18, a little older. This man got a family and everything. Drives a bus. Good job. Family, children. I think he had children of his own. And, he do his daily routine. And, she be the only one on the bus, like late at night. And I think the time of late night would be around 10 or 11 o'clock or something like that. So that was, I don't know how long it had been going on before he did what he did. But this is a regular man with a regular job with a wife and family. And he ended up killing her, you know? And because the voice was there, the opportunity was there, and the voice was there. Like, damn, I'm not this kind of dude, but I could just, take her and against her will, and and it's a power rush too for some of these people. But the voice is there, you know. Um, And like this man here, he might. Pretty sure he probably had a woman, uh, or you know, children, maybe one or two or three children, whatever. But these are kind of like functioning citizens, so called, in America that that end up like this. And I kind of blame it on America. America is a land of it was built on blood. It was built on criminality. It was built on murder, and that's what you see happening in cities, from one city to all another. And it doesn't even have to be in the worst environment. Ghetto doesn't have to be in the ghetto. It doesn't have to be, you know, in the drug related area or environment, gang neighborhood. It could just be all them rich people. They be doing this shit all the time, man. Especially them people in the hills. All they had to do is throw the throw the body down into the, you know, or even those people that live by the lakes, all that where alligators in there. They just throw the body in the river and let the alligators eat it. I mean, the so-called white man used to do that. He used to throw the sick babies or dead that died by diseases. He just used to throw them out off the boat and let the alligators eat them. And they said even to this day, the alligators trail had that same trail. As they go that same pattern because of what they used to get thrown to them, which is dead Negro boy and girl bodies. And we're going to tie this into the so-called white man all the time. I mean, of course, this man is sick in his mind. He's sick. Even y'all, the Most High says in the scriptures, Israel is sick. The whole body is sick. I mean, look what they're doing. Some people have another kind of sickness. You know, some people got a sickness of lust. Some people got a sickness of incest. Some people got a sickness of, you know, sodomy. So that don't act like this man is not. There's those other crimes are not equally offensive to mankind, uh, to the human moral code. You know. And what about the sacrifices they do in Hollywood? Everybody knows about that. That's a true fact. Nobody can do shit about it. These celebrities that pass away that people idolize, because they're into that game too. But they're like, oh, she was so sweet. She had the most beautiful voice. How could somebody do that to her? He was a kind man. He was, just like the recent Malcolm Jamal Warner thing, and that's part of a distraction too. They could knock two birds with one stone. I wanted to kind of do something else. I mean, talk about that a little bit more because it's more evidence coming out that it's more likely a murder, but they're not going to investigate to that extent to where they would call it murder. But as far as how people are making sense of it, it really doesn't make sense. So yeah, I mean, and this happens all the time. And look, they try to. He looks like a nice guy. Like, what do they call them? What do they call people like teddy bear fathers or whatever? Just a big teddy bear. I'm pretty sure. And sometimes the female is in it too, down with it too. Got human trafficking, child trafficking. Like I said, U.S. has not dropped a bomb on those kind of people. You know, Most High destroy a whole city or state or country for its wickedness. They don't care who's in it. It's so-called innocent people still in America. That doesn't mean it's not going to be destroyed for the wickedness in it. But the elect will be called up from out of this destruction. But there's going to be people here that have normal lives that's not part of the elect that live pretty decent lives. I mean, they wouldn't hurt a fly. So what? This place is getting judged. You know. Anyway, so like we said, he admits here. He admits details what he did. They even show the instruments that he used, which was a hammer and just a gruesome murder, man. You know. But remember too, like when the Edomites were doing this, and as they still do it today. But I'm talking about even with slavery, they had no judgment against them for doing what they did. You know, to the Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, they was just murdering by the millions. You know, so they're hypocrites, man. And people were like, well, cops were like, yeah, if I was around at that time, I would have executed persecution against those that did the slaves wrong. Nah, it's far too late, and you're the children of your fathers, man. But I'm just showing you an example of how spirits can come upon people and make people do what they. That's how you know the Most High is in control. He'll do the same thing with Trump. Put the spirit on Trump to make him launch a nuke or make him say yes to the war, make him set these draconian laws up, make them make the make America go into martial law. These events have to happen, but of course, when the new kingdom comes and then righteous kingdom is set up, there'll be no more murder, killing, rape, and robbing amongst Israel. You know, but those other nations, they're going to be still doing things like this, where we're going to have to put judgment on them and get rid of their asses when they act unrighteously. We're gonna get rid of their damn asses, man. Because all the time we've been duped, you know, and without any knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Now that we have it, we have the power now, and that's gonna be manifest. Knowledge, wisdom shall be the stability of times. It ain't no weapons. That's why it says, "Hey, no weapon formed against me shall prosper." You devils use weapons. We don't. We're gonna use our minds. And the Most High is going to make that manifest. And where He's going to make our righteousness manifest, because we've been said to believe that we are people cursed forever. And that's not true. We are cursed. But we're not. But Most High still loves us. And we got a bad rep. Talking about black, starting with black, Latino, Native Americans. But we're the new law, the new officers, the new, judges. So the earth is going to be put once go back to righteousness, get put in the hands of real righteous men. And like I said, we're not going to have to worry about this among Israel. We're going to be perfect. These other nations are going to still be imperfect. And they're going to be judged harshly for any criminal offense against the law of the Most High. This is the real law. The Bible, the laws in the Bible, that's the real law that's supposed to be exercised in America. But it's not. It's not. A law against sodomy is not exercised in America. Against adultery is not exercised in America. You could worship anything. It clearly says, do not have any God beside Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And they serve all kind of gods here, So, you reap what you sow. This is your own offenses and criminal actions coming to haunt you, And it's going to happen during Jacob's trouble. But hopefully it was edifying. To the next video, Shalom.